Recording in progress.
Yep.
Welcome to Point to Point. I'm Robert, and with me, as always, is Tony.
Good evening, people.
So, tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about bedside manner.
Oh, that's very interesting because a lot of us out there, they might not know what is bedside manner. Is it for going to sleep next to the patient? Oh.
Well, that's something you definitely don't want to do, but we'll start with that. What is bedside manner? So, for me, bedside manner is showing a compassionate, knowledgeable discussion with the patient about their problem. It can be difficult sometimes, especially where some things, specifically like facts, need to come over kind of cold and hard. But you have to understand that, the person is going to go through uh, either a major change in their life or it has a huge impact on their life in general. What about you?
For me, the bedside manner is very how we treat any patient the same way as I'm treating myself. You don't want to be nasty.
That's good too.
The major thing is you have to show compassion.
Yes.
I have many different type of patients coming in. Sometime beginning, oh my goodness, they flip out on you because they think, oh, I'm late. It's not my fault. It's because you guys don't give me the right address. Oh, it's because you give me the wrong timing. The schedule is not correct. But of course, we will not pick a fight with the patients. We want to stay calm. Um, well, I found out that okay, this person's um, why is so angry is because they have pain. He or she have pain. So it's not the emotion is not the true self. Yeah, I have a couple of times one person tried to fight me. Like, oh no, I just want to ask questions. That's in the past, but then he's somewhat very friendly toward me. We have mutual respect. Major things we never know what the patient been through or what they experience at the current moment.
Yeah.
And I always think, oh, this person is a jerk. I don't want to talk to her or him. Then we have to educate the patients what they need to expect. To me, I always be truthful. I remember in class, oh, you try to tell them, oh, there's no pain in acupuncture needles. There will be a pinch. Reality, no, I always tell them, okay, this is very sensitive because you have a lot of pain. If the needles is not penetrating nicely, you get pain. Bony landmarks like the fingers and toes. Come
Yeah.
on now. You cannot say it's going to be pinching sensations. You'll be lying to patients. Even for us, sometimes I get needle on the hands area. Like, wow, that is pain. Yeah, I try to educate them, try to make them feel de-stress, make them feel comfortable. Do you have any experience, Robert, with patients?
First with the pain. Now, there could be some people who will never feel the needle go in. And then there's other people who will feel every single pinprick no matter what you do. I've learned throughout my many years of practice, there are many places on the body that are more sensitive than others. And it's always better to let them know beforehand. One of the other issues is you don't want to scare them either. As you just mentioned, that you want the patient to be comfortable. And even in the old books, they want the patients when they come in, even to just lay on the table for 15 minutes. Obviously, we can't do that. Nowadays, time is money.
Mhm.
People are in there, they can't have the ability to get comfortable enough. So they're already rushing from work because now they're missing lunch, which is not a good time to get acupuncture. Or, I only have 30 minutes before I have to rush back and go pick up my son and or daughter. But going back to the whole thing with pain, there's a specific needle maker that uses the specific slogan of being a painless needle. Let's just say they have their way of doing that, but sometimes I found that people even feel something even with those needles.
Hmm.
Right. But generally speaking, if there's one place specifically that I know is always going to be sensitive to someone, it's large intestine 4, which
Yeah.
is right on the hand.
I was going to mention about that part.
With large intestine 4, it's a funny thing because it can bleed very easily. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that blood's going to be gushing and whatnot. It's more that it's a sensitive area with a lot of capillaries,
Mhm.
and it's very easy to have it break underneath the skin. You can get a bruise. When this happens, you'll see kind of like a little bump raise up over the
Mhm.
skin, and it'll be purple. And from the people who had this, they told me that they can feel a radiating pain either down their finger or down the side of their wrist. And this is something that we learned in the clinic is you could, when you take the needle out and you start to see that, just take a cotton ball and you press
Mhm.
on it.
Pressing down. Mhm.
Yeah, if you press on it, it helps to relieve that bump that
Mhm.
will happen. And most of the time, they won't have any of that extra pain that's there. But when I have a patient and I know I'm going to have to do this point, I say to them, this is a point that's sensitive. You may or may not have an issue with it. I don't want you to be worried about it. If something happens, we'll take care of it. But this is a good point for your condition. And then I say to them, if I didn't tell you this, you would end up having the issue. Now that I told you, you're not going to have it and everything's going to be fine. And usually after I say that, it calms the patient down again. I'll see their, I don't want to say stress, but I'll see them start to get a little bit worried when I tell them that
Mhm.
this point is going to be difficult. But as soon as I explain to them, I've seen this all the time. I know what happens. I'm prepared for it. And now that I've told you about it, because every time I tell somebody, never happens. Now all of a sudden, oh, okay, that's no problem then. And you can do this for any other point too. You can do it for stomach 38 when you're doing the shoulder pain. You can do it with stomach 36 and you manipulate the needle too hard. Large intestine 11, I'll see it at large intestine 11. I'll see it at heart 7. But you're correct. Any of the bony areas of the hand, you'll see more pain.
The funny thing is, I was also going to mention about LI4. I had a couple patients that I met brand new.
Mhm.
They want cupping, they want other things other than long needles treatments. You know why you're here, right? This is also acupuncture clinic. They said, "Oh yeah, I know, but I prefer like doing other things other than long needles." I'm like, why? Oh, because I went to another acupuncturist in the past, or it happened that person never explained to the patients what's going on. The patient is always scared. That was the first time getting treatment. To me, I really don't like the first treatments to be with LI4 because one, they don't know what to expect. Now LI4 you penetrate in. Wow, it's so sensitive. It might not be pain, but the sensation is beyond what they can imagine, and they think it's pain. For us, it's like sensation sometimes.
We call it distension. Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens. Couple of patients that I knew that they don't want needle treatment. It took me wow, maybe 2 or 3 months, but the persons who be convinced to get no needle treatments for their problems. Because once you screw up with Li4, they think all the needles everywhere are painful, or
Mhm.
maybe because you guys not knowledgeable. So they got that kind of fear. Even though I spent so many times talking to the patient and see them many times doing acupressures or cuppings or other infrared treatments, it took me a while just to convince them because of that fear they develop, a phobia, the neophobia. Because, oh my God, if you put needle on me, I will feel the same pain. So it's the problem because of the previous acupuncturist. They don't have a good bedside manner. They did not inform the patients. They were that nice. They were like, let me just needle and done. But because of that, it affects our future professions, our
Mhm.
treatments. A lot of people think, okay, acupuncture is scary because they do needles, but they forgot we do other things than needles, like acupressure, cupping, squat shot. It don't have to be needles. Even ear seeds we used, but because the first impressions is gone already, they think, okay, everybody's the same. It's not easy once you scare someone because they develop that
No,
fear, psychological fear.
but you make another good point too, specifically with cupping, because a lot of people aren't aware that you're going to be left with that,
Yep.
round
Purple mark.
bruise on your
Yeah.
back, especially if you're going up and down with it. You have very long streaks of purple going down your back.
Mhm.
Somebody sees that and they go, "Oh my God, is someone beating you?" And I've seen some very strange videos online where people will test out the small cups, they'll put them on their face, put them on their head, and then they have a purple mark in the middle of their forehead. People look at it. It's not so much as they look strange, but it's like that must hurt too. No, cupping doesn't hurt at all. You'll feel the pressure on your back from
Mhm.
the suction, but it's not like what I was talking about specifically
Yeah.
with large intestine 4. And a lot of the patients that I've had, especially after cupping, say that it feel great after it too.
Oh
They say
yeah.
specifically
I,
for the
I like.
back, it's wonderful. But we have to inform them about that. We have to say, when you're done with this treatment, you're going to have these bruises on your back well, I don't even want to say bruises. That's not actually the same thing, but you're going to have these purple bruise-like marks on your back, whether it's a circle or the stripe. Are you okay with that for the next 2 or 3 days? If they say no, then don't do it. But you want to make the patient comfortable. I'm sure that you can find something else, or you can just say, we'll try it at another time when it's more convenient for you.
So I would tell my patients, sometimes you will get like giant hickey. Like, oh,
That's
okay. They will think,
another good one. Yeah.
but then something, oh, marks, like, don't worry, it's on your back. Nobody can see you. But I hated cuppings on the facial part. The thing, especially for women,
Yeah.
you not supposed to do cupping.
You
Why?
should.
Because you need that kind of marks. That's sometimes it can come up with lawsuits. If somebody said, "Oh my God, I go to a party, bad impressions and experience," they will go after you.
It depends with some people, but I will say that's not really the best place. The face is not the best place to do cupping, only because of the way that the skin is there.
See,
There's not a lot of space between the skin to the skull.
also,
Again, it's not like the fleshy part of your body or your back. Maybe there's some tiny, tiny cups, but those are the ones that I see people on TikTok doing stupid stuff with. You know, that's not how we treat people.
see, now social medias also give us a. It can be good things. It also can be bad things because I think lack of understanding and education. People think, oh, it's real. Cuppings, there's so many different types of cupping. I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of this. Of course, traditional cupping is glass,
Mhm.
bamboo, wooden. Then you have plastic. But I'm not sure do people know there's a silicone one for facial cupping. They use the tiny cuppings. So the silicone one, which is nicer, it doesn't have that strong suctions compared to the plastic one, the pump. Now they also have a glass pumping one that doesn't require fire cupping. I like glass because it's always better feeling than plastic. Sometimes plastic to me is kind of rough, especially when you do moving cupping. It just scrape your skin. There also a cupping that is electronic device that can give you electric heat, infrared heat too.
I never saw that one.
It's out there in China. They all have it, but I just don't buy it. I remember I experienced the vacuum suctions, the
Okay.
machine. Wow, that is, I could say, wow. It's not just painful. It sucks your soul out. Oh my God, once it release, ooh, that's feel great. Yeah, I experienced that. I think that's more very common, like Taiwanese styles. The person who treated me back then, she was Taiwanese, and she had this machines. Uh, she placed the plastic cup with the tubes, of course. Then you could hear the vacuum machine is sucking. Dun, 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 dun. It's it's been nice feeling. there's so many different types out there, but the major thing is we have to really inform and educate. You have to be nice to patients. That's a major thing because they don't understand what our treatments. First time, the first impressions, it's a must. You break that impressions, you lost that trust.
Let's start with education then. I can tell you that as a class, we never had it for bedside manner. The only place that I learned bedside manner from was actually the student clinic. But I can also tell you that some of the clinicians who were there, especially one of them was bring the patient in, talk to him, find out what's wrong, bring him to the room, put the needles in, and then get them out as fast as possible. We have to keep to the schedule. That's not
No,
helping
that's not
anyone.
good. That's not nice.
And then I had another clinician. She was very empathetic. She spoke to the patient calmly, brought them into the room, explained almost each of the needles that she was putting in. And before she left, asked if there was anything else that she could do for him. So my education specifically with bedside manner was whoever I was working with at the time. I will say this, I didn't get enough experience until I started opening up my own clinic and speaking with other people. It's always a learning experience. How about you? Where did you learn your bedside manner?
I already have some experience because I used to do a pre-hospital care in ambulance and fire departments. I used to work in the hospital, so everywhere, different directions. But really, to me, I think I learned it by myself, really. Not many people guide me, especially the school that I went. Forget about that. I had to teach them how to be doing the best side matter. They never touched that base. Maybe because of their probably their experience of their culture in China. In a hospital, they probably see a lot of patients. They like, okay, usually the patient just understands when they come to see me because they know what to expect on the patients. But here it's different because Chinese medicine treatment is a foreign treatment and people don't understand here. So we have to be more careful and we have to explain it better. So my experience is based on what I learned from practical wise. We learn more as we practice and deal with patients. I have some time, I used to work in nursing homes. I can tell you there's no such thing bedside matter with a lot of nurses there and doctors. Sometimes the doctor just appear because they in the rush while I treating the patients. Oh, I Dr. So and so. Then boom, he left. And look at the patient. And the patient look at me. Who the hell is this person? I was like, I don't know. I asked her, you don't expect anybody here? No. So that is also poor bedside manner if you don't introduce yourself and oh, I just a doctor, but what kind of doctor you are? You could be a foot doctor too. You could be cardiologist. Two different field. But the worst thing is the patient don't know who you are. If you know that the patient expects someone else to come, please like inform them. Oh, this doctor's unable or this acupuncturist unable to come. I just substituting. Would that be okay? I remember one of the treatments I witnessed. The patient thought is a female's coming in, for example, named Maria. They give that person, the patient, Amy. Oh, the patient can sense the way it treatment the style because that person have Maria all the time. And you give the person's Amy without telling. And the worst thing is that Amy treats the patient without telling, oh, I'm Maria, I'm Amy, not Maria. After the treatment, the patient was pissed because it wasn't comfortable, wasn't relaxing. Now you have to answer the questions. Who the hell touched me? Wow, that's the major problems. Luckily, the patients have it's like between patients, they develop relationship with their clinic. But if you have somebody brand new, you say you get treatment from Mr. A, Dr. A, but you get C, that is a bit different. But it's always be truthful, always informed. Something's up. That's how you're supposed to be if you want the patient to come back. That's my experience in the past about educating or educations. There's also other things I witnessed that you cannot panic. That is not a good bedside manner.
No, that's definitely not good bedside manner.
Yeah, I have this a classmate, junior classmate. I was teaching her. See, I'm a guy. I really don't hold back. I'm not on teaching. What I learned, I just want to share to some degree. If it depends if that person worth of hoping. I told her not to panic. We ran into this room. There's only two of us and the patient. The patient is already facing down already, so he had no idea what's going on. I keep reminding her before going into the treatment room not to panic, okay? I know you're always panicking, but please be calm. You're with me. So we had this special tray, like the surgical tray, where we put needles on mechanic. So we moving around the tray. So I really don't like the tray for a reason. The patient had his watch on the tray. She moved the tray around so closer to the patient. I told her, don't move too fast. What happened? She did not listen. The whole tray fell almost on him, but I caught it on time and his watch fell down. The patient said something, but she did not hear him correctly because she was panicking. She was sweating already. Oh my God. The tray almost fell on him. Oh my God, his watch is on the floor now. So the patient was asking, "Oh, is my watch is like causing a problem for you guys?" Because he put it on the tray where it's not supposed to be. So this student was was so scared. She picked the watch up and put it on his hand. Luckily, he doesn't know what's happening. But for that students who panic, she did not. I told her not to treat him anymore because you already had that kind of mind already, the negative feelings and the fear. So if you do treat the patient, it will not be that great anyway. She will not concentrate. So I told her it's okay, you can go. Let me finish up. Once you develop that kind of fear, this and the patient sense it, he or she will never come back. And why would someone come back to see you who had lack of confidence and when it's minor things? You could say, "I'm sorry, I dropped your watch because it was on the way." But when we like, what the bedside matter is also make sure that your patient is safe,
Mm.
comfortable, because you are trained practitioners. You have to make sure that your patient is okay throughout the treatment. You don't want to have anything happen to him or her by having this kind of fear that clog up your judgment. So this you should not be treating if you have that feeling. A lot of people probably might still treat because hey, it's money, but I prefer the play safe because you don't have the skills. I believe that's why you panic. Then you should not be treating. So that's my feeling.
Something you said, it makes me worried because I've seen a lot of issues related to greed and the way of following timetables, time frames, get them in, get them out. I've seen it in hospitals. I've seen it in nursing homes. I've seen it even in student clinics. As I had mentioned, I had a teacher, clinician, whose motto was get the patient in exactly on time that they're here and get them out exactly the time for the next patient to get into the room. They didn't care how you did it, just so long as you did it. During the general intake, again, I don't want to say there's a lot of coldness, but you can tell a practitioner whether or not they care by the way they talk to you. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it's related to, I want to treat the patient the way I want the patient to treat me. I probably said that wrong, so I'll cut that out. If I treat the patient with respect and calmness and being knowledgeable, I will hope that they will listen to me and be respectful. And that just doesn't happen with some people. With some people, it's just it's the dollar signs and it's the timetable. It's just okay. You're here. I have 5 minutes to do the intake with you. We have to get everything done. I want to ask you about, no, 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 we can't talk about that right now. We have to stay on what we're doing. You go to a cardiologist, you can only talk about the heart. You go to a foot doctor, you just want to talk about the foot. Well, how did I get the foot problem? Oh, that doesn't matter. We're just here to take care of tendonitis that you have. Well, I like to do, no, no, no. We'll talk about that after the treatment's done. And then once they do the treatment, you have 5 minutes again after they come in to finish up. And it's like, okay, what can I do to prevent this from happening? And then they just rattle off something, or they hand you a piece of paper, but they don't explain to you what that piece of paper is for. Just, oh, please go to the front desk and make the appointment for you to come in next week.
See, the funny thing is, a lot of patients that show me that the doctors step by steps, but they never explain it to them. They ask me to explain to them. I look at it, I just saying based on the paper, but I told them that you have to really clarify with your doctors because we're not allowed to make any comments about what the other doctors wants the patients to do. Yeah, you don't want to rush things, but it depends if this is your clinic or not. If you're working for someone and your boss wanted you to, okay, numbers is everything. Stop the BS, no talking. Okay? Because this is not your clinic. You have to listen to your boss because he's
Yeah.
gonna pay you. Is it right? Mm, I say yes, because he's paying you. To me, it happens in many times in the past, especially in no force setting.
Yes. I was just
They
about
want
to mention
numbers.
that. Yep.
But beginning, it was like, okay, I put patient's needle, boom, 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 boom. Okay, done. I hardly talk to them. But throughout times, I end up talking to them. Why? Because I want the patient to come back. I also need to let the patient knows that I'm here to help. Some patients are real injured, then I would show more compassion and listen to them more. That's not what my boss wants, but hey, I still able to finish my patients. I develop the speed, but then I also develop some time to listen to them. It's all about practicing, make better. The more you practice, you master certain skills. It's basically it's your own judgment. You want your patient to know that, hey, you make some difference in their lives.
Yeah.
Do it. Some patients, is it's a minor thing, so you're okay. You don't really need to explain too much. But if you know this, a lot of patients who have a lot of medical history, and if you know this patient's spouse is dying or has so many problems, will you try to at least listen? It doesn't hurt, just a couple of times, as long as you know you don't have patients waiting for you. But know of your times, it works a long way for some people.
Well, I'm going to do the outro now. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. So, thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for next week, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Good night, people.
Good night.
And then we cut.